She stood with one hand on the table, the other still wet from the wash basin. The knock didn't come once. It came 4 times. Hard, measured, like someone who already knew the answer. She didn't move, just watched the door. Another knock. The baby cried from the bedroom. She blinked, took one step, then another. I opened it halfway. The woman on the porch looked taller than she remembered. Apron soaked, sleeves torn, and blood, real blood, down one side. Not dried, still warm. No one else would open, the woman said. She didn't answer. The midwife's boots stepped in slowly. I need a place, just till dawn. She left the door open and walked back to the stove. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The baby cried again, louder this time. She's got a good pair of lungs, the midwife said. It's a boy. A pause. He's loud, the midwife said. I don't know what happened out there, but I don't want it in this house. You already let it in. She stood still. The baby's cry grew sharper, tighter. She moved fast, picked him up from the cradle, and rocked him once, twice. Can I see him? No. The midwife didn't argue. She unbuttoned her sleeves and sat down without asking. The chair creaked under her weight. Why the blood? I helped a girl. You always help girls at night? I do when the sheriff's boys run 'em out of town. Her eyes flicked to the window. Nothing moved out there, but she pulled the curtain anyway. He's just a baby, she whispered. The midwife watched her. They don't care. You know that. Don't say that. Don't talk like you know anything about... I know how he was born. Silence. The fire in the stove popped once, dry and sharp. She turned toward her. That girl, is she alive? She is. Is it a baby? No. She hugged her son tighter. The crying softened, then stopped. He blinked up at her, eyes too big for his face. The midwife leaned forward. I didn't come to hurt anyone. You've already done enough. I came because there's nowhere else, and because you owe me. I paid you. Not with shelter. She didn't speak. Her feet shuffled. The baby stirred. You want water? She asked. No. Are you hungry? No. She nodded like she answered something, moved to the sink, run cold water into a chipped cup. I didn't ask to owe you. No one ever does, the midwife said. You act like you saved me. I did. You act like you own this child. I don't, but I saw what you couldn't. She turned fast. And what's that? That he didn't want to come. That's a lie. The midwife stood. He came out blue. No breath, no sound. He cried. Not until I made him. She looked down at the baby, pressed her lips to his forehead. His skin felt too warm. You don't get to show up here covered in someone else's blood and talk about my son like he belongs to you. I don't want him. Good. I want you to remember. I remember enough. The midwife moved toward the door. Her boots left smears on the wood. I'll be gone before sunup. You better be. But she didn't leave. She walked to the corner and lowered herself to the floor, back against the wall, arms folded tight. The baby hiccuped. She rocked him again. Do they know you're here? She asked. Probably. Then they'll come. They won't find me. You sure? No. She moved to the door, locked it, then slid the chair under the knob. You're putting us all in danger. They already want me dead. The baby whimpered. What did you do? I gave them a name they didn't like. That's it. And I buried her before they could. She didn't reply. Just watched the floor as if something would crawl out from under it. The wind pressed against the window. The latch clicked softly. Do you think they'll burn the house? She asked. Number too many remember your husband. That didn't save him. No. She looked down at her son. He was barely born when it happened. I know. You were there. I was. You didn't stop it. I couldn't. Silence stretched again. Was she young? She asked. Too young. Same as me. The midwife nodded. She walked toward the crib, placed the baby back in soft folds. He turned once, then settled. She covered him with a stitched blanket, the one her mother gave before leaving. He's got your eyes, the midwife said. He's got nothing of me. He's got everything for you. She stood, arms crossed, back to the door. I can't let you stay. You already did. Number I let you in. That's different. He'll cry at dawn, the midwife said, closing her eyes. What? They always do. She didn't understand. She didn't want to. The wind scratched again at the shutters. I want you gone before he wakes. I will be. She watched her for a long time, her bloodied apron, her hands, her silence. You should wash. I'm fine. You'll scare him. The midwife opened her eyes, looked toward the crib. He doesn't scare easily. Not yet. Then maybe he's already stronger than you. She didn't answer. The fire in the stove crackled low. In the corner, the midwife leaned her head back against the wall. The woman sat in the chair beside the crib and didn't move again until the baby started crying. And outside, the wind kept knocking. The baby started fussing just before the stove clicked low. She was already on her feet when he cried out, a shallow, ragged gasp that didn't sound like his usual wail. She scooped him up, heart pounding. He felt light in her arms. Too light. She rocked, whispered, and bounced gently. Nothing worked. Behind her, the midwife shifted in the dark. He's not pulling air right. Stay where you are. He needs space to breathe. He needs quiet. He needs to sleep. The baby wheezed again, chest stuttering like a bellows that wouldn't hold pressure. The midwife stood. The mother turned, shielding the baby. Don't touch him. I'm not going to hurt him. You already said you wouldn't stay. I lied. The baby coughed, tiny body shaking. She kissed his head, pressed her palm to his back. Come on, baby. You're okay. The midwife stepped closer. Give him to me. No. You don't know what this is. He's just tired. Number his breath's folding in on itself. His chest's not expanding. He's fine. The midwife moved one step forward. Let me show you. You're not putting anything in him. I don't need to. I need to adjust how he's lying. You're not laying hands on him. I'll talk him through it. Talk? The midwife nodded. It matters what they hear. She clutched the baby tighter. His breathing rasped in short, wet pulls. Give me space, the midwife said. She hesitated, then backed toward the rocking chair, still holding him. The midwife knelt low. No sudden movements, no outstretched hands. She crouched close to the crib, just beside it, and whispered. The words weren't loud. They weren't anything she could make sense of. Soft syllables, old and dry. It sounded like wind-scraping bark, a rhythm, a tone, not a language. The baby twitched. She gritted her teeth. What are you saying to him? I'm helping him remember. Remember what? He's 3 months old. He was born forgetting how to breathe. That doesn't make sense. The midwife didn't respond. She kept speaking low, voice rising and falling like breath itself. The baby's eyes opened, glassy, unfocused. He's calming, the mother whispered. He's listening. She stepped forward. What is this? Some trick? Some backwoods chant? The midwife leaned in even closer. He'll need stronger lungs. Why? The midwife looked up. Because next time, they won't knock before they come through the door. Her stomach dropped. He's not part of this. They think he is. Because of you. Number because of who his father was. She flinched. The midwife watched her. You think they forgot? They buried him. They buried the story, not the threat. She sat down, trembling. You said he wasn't breathing when he was born. He wasn't. What did you do? I spoke. Like this. Worse. The baby stirred again. This time the breath caught, then released. He cried. Not a whimper, not a gasp. Full-throated cry, raw, sharp, rising. She exhaled. The midwife smiled faintly. There he is. She went to him, scooped him up again. He kicked once, then settled, still crying, but steady. What did you say to him? Nothing. That wasn't nothing. I told him to fight, told him what was waiting. You said you wouldn't scare him. I didn't. The mother rocked him. Her arms felt tired, like the joints had been pulled from their sockets and barely pressed back in. She looked at the crib. That thing you said about remembering. Some babies forget they're supposed to live. He didn't. He nearly did. She sat down hard. Her knees trembled. I fed him. I held him. I know. I kept him warm. You did. Then why did he almost die? The midwife didn't speak. Tell me. Because something's pulling on him. From where? I don't know. That's not good enough. I've seen it before. She clutched the baby to her chest. You think something's wrong with him? No. You think something's inside him. The midwife's eyes didn't change. You think he's cursed? No. Marked? No. Then say what you mean. I think he's loud for a reason. That's not an answer. It is. She stood, pacing. The baby cried again, throat rough. What if you made it worse? She said. I didn't. What if you said the wrong thing? I didn't. What if he stops breathing again tomorrow? What if... He won't. You don't know that. The midwife looked toward the stove. Do you have salt? What? Salt. No. Find some. What for? Protection. I said no curses. It's not for him. It's for the house. She stared, then laughed, short, sharp, bitter. You think I'm going to lay salt lines in the corners like some old widow with a shotgun and a Bible? You are a widow. The words landed like fists. The midwife didn't flinch. And you're already laying down lines, just not with salt. What does that mean? It means you're scared. Of course I'm scared. Good. That means you're listening. She rocked the baby again. Slower now. He'd begun to settle. Not sleeping, just drifting in and out. I don't want to need you, she said. You don't. Then why are you still here? The midwife walked to the corner, sat again, pulled her coat tighter. Because he's still crying. The mother sat across from her. The night deepened. Nothing moved, not the fire, not the wind, only the soft sound of the baby's breath, slow and unsure. The baby stirred just before the glow reached the window. She was half asleep in the chair when the light changed. Not soft candlelight, but a pulsing orange that climbed the wall slow and steady. She stood, legs numb, and crossed the room with the baby in her arms. The midwife was already awake, already standing. Don't go to the window. She pulled the curtain back anyway. Fire licked the night sky. That's the Franklin barn, she said. I know. The flames were tall, reaching. Smoke rolled sideways. She could almost feel the heat from here. They've got horses in there. They did. She turned to her. You said you'd be gone before dawn. I lied. The baby whimpered, face pressed to her shoulder. They're burning it because of you, she asked. Yes. Why? Because I save what they want buried. The words sank deep. The fire popped outside, brightening as the roof gave way. She tightened her grip on the child. That barn's less than a mile from here. They're getting close. They said the Franklins left last spring. They did. Then why torch a barn that's been empty? Because it sends a message. To who? To me. To anyone who remembers. She turned toward the crib and lowered the baby inside. His face twisted, but he didn't cry. You said the sheriff wouldn't burn houses. He won't. Then what is this? It's a warning. They think you're still helping. I never stopped. You're not helping me. I am. The fire flared again. They saw the riders then, just shadows on the ridge. 3, maybe 4. One held a torch, another circled wide. They're checking the tree line. Looking for tracks. The baby coughed, chest shaking like wet leaves in the wind. Do they know you're here? They know I passed through. You brought this to my door. I warned you. You said you needed shelter. I said I needed safety. There's a difference. They'll come here next. They need another fire before they justify this one. She stared at her. You say that like you've seen it before. I have. The baby whimpered again. The mother moved to him, adjusted the blanket. You think they'll stop with barns? They won't stop at all. Then why are you calm? I'm not. You act like this is routine. It is. She turned. What happened to the girl you said you helped? She bled out. You said she lived. She did, until they found her. The baby coughed again. Did they hang her? She whispered. No. Then what? They said she died in childbirth. And no one questioned it? They never do. She rocked on her heels. How many have you seen? Too many. How many babies have you buried? More than I remember. Fewer than I should have. She stepped back. That's a cruel thing to say. It's a cruel thing to live. The fire dimmed slightly, the orange flicker fading behind the hill. I used to ride horses in that barn, she said, before I got married. I remember. You remember everything. I remember the parts people try to forget. They stood in silence. The wind pushed ash across the window. It tapped like fingers. What happens when the fire's out? She asked. They come down. For you? For whoever opens the door. She shook her head. I've got a child. They won't touch me. They won't need to. What does that mean? They'll take the baby. She flinched. You're lying. They'll say he needs proper care, a name on paper, clean blood. He has my name. They'll say that's not enough. The baby stirred again. His breathing is still uneven. He needs rest, she said. He needs more than that. She turned. Don't start whispering again. I won't. She sat in the rocker and pulled him into her arms. He's all I have left. I know. The baby blinked up at her, chest rising slow, falling slower. You said something's pulling on him. I still believe that. What is it? I don't know. Guess. The midwife hesitated. It could be a memory. Memory? Something passed to him, a breath that wasn't his. She rocked faster. You mean a curse? No. You mean a ghost? No. Then stop talking like a gravekeeper. The fire outside gave one last flare, then silence. Is it out? She asked. Number it's quiet. The baby whimpered again, a dry sound like air scraped through cracked glass. She held him tighter. They buried my husband in a fire pit, she said. I know. No grave, no stone, just ash. I know. They said it was justice. They said it was ordered. She looked up. Do you think he's in him? My husband. I think breath carries things. Don't say that. I think the boy's strong. You said he'd die. I said he needed help. The baby coughed. Louder now. She rocked harder. Don't take him. I'm not. I mean, if he stops breathing, don't touch him. I won't. She kissed the baby's forehead. He felt hotter than before. The midwife stepped back into the dark, sat in the corner again. They'll come at dawn, she said. Then we don't sleep. No. The mother stared at the crib, at the soft blanket, at the corners of the room where shadows waited. I'll bury him myself before I let them take him, she whispered. The midwife didn't reply. Outside, the fire died, but the smoke kept rising. The knock came slow. Just once. She looked toward the door without standing. The baby lay quiet in her lap, mouth open, too still. She didn't want to wake him. I didn't want to move. But she already knew whose shadow waited on the other side. The midwife stood, silent, arms folded. Her apron is still stained. Another knock, firmer this time. The mother eased the baby into the crib, careful not to shift him too hard. He whimpered once, then settled. She moved to the door, heart thudding, hand resting on the chair she'd jammed under the knob hours ago. She pulled it aside. When she opened the door, the sheriff didn't speak, just stood there, boots caked in ash, hat low over his brow, eyes already sweeping past her shoulder. She's here, he said. No, she replied. He glanced back at her. Step aside, he said. There's no one here but me and the child. Is that so? She didn't flinch. What do you want? His hand rested on the holster like he didn't notice it was there. The Franklin barn burned down last night. I saw. Did you now? Yes. He looked past her again. Smoke reached the town. She didn't blink. It's out now. You know who did it? No. You sure? She didn't move. I got reason to believe someone's hiding, he said. Not here. I ain't askin'. She stepped out, blocking the door. Still not here. Behind her, the baby stirred. A soft sound. The sheriff's eyes twitched. The child sounds sick, he said. He's teething. Sounds deeper than that. Do you diagnose babies now? I look after what's mine. He's not yours. He smiled, small. Everything out here's under me. You know that. He's mine. The midwife stepped into view behind her, quiet as smoke. The sheriff didn't look surprised. You always come back around, don't you? He said. I come where I'm needed, she said. Don't recall this house needin' you. You never did listen. He took one step forward. The mother didn't move. She's got blood on her, he said. She's a midwife. He raised an eyebrow. What do you call her? That's what she is. That blood's fresh. Not mine. It doesn't matter. She stood straighter. You have no right. I got every right. You got scared. That's different. He leaned closer. You think this house protects you? I think walls remember. He chuckled. Yeah? What do you remember? She didn't answer. He looked her over. You lost your husband here. I didn't lose him. No. He was taken. By who? She didn't blink. By fire. By men who wear your badge. He looked past her again. Baby got a name. Yes. Registered. Not yet. He smiled. Then he ain't real. She stepped back. He's real enough. Not to the county. He's not theirs. He ain't yours either, not till he's on paper. I've buried too many names on paper. Why do you hide her?" He pointed at the midwife. "'Cause she buries 'em better?" The mother's voice cracked. "She saves them. She's poison. She's breathing." The sheriff's jaw tightened. The baby cried again, louder now. "Sounds like he's choking," he said. "He's tired. He's sick." "Don't." The midwife stepped forward. "He's alive. That's more than most you've seen." The sheriff looked at her. "The last girl you helped bled out." "No, she didn't. Her father says she did. Her father's the reason she needed me." He turned to the mother. "You let her work in this house, they'll call you complicit." "I don't care. They'll take the boy." "Let them try." The wind pushed at the door. "You going to let me in?" he asked. "No." He looked between them. "Then I'll come back with more." "You always do." He stepped back, spit in the dirt. "You're making a mistake." She held the frame tight. "It's still mine to make." He stared at her. Just a second too long. Then he turned, walked down the path without another word. She shut the door, locked it, pushed the chair back under the knob. The baby's cries filled the room. Sharper now, like panic. She rushed to him, scooped him up. "It's okay. He's gone. He's gone." The midwife stood near the stove, arms crossed again. "I told you they'd come," she said. "I didn't think it'd be now." "He waits till fear's ripe." She rocked the baby harder, whispering, shaking. "He's burning up. He always does after they leave." "What does that mean?" "It means the boy knows what silence feels like." She sat down, cradling him, pressing her cheek to his. "He can't keep going through this." "He won't. You heard him. He'll bring more. Then we'll be ready." She looked up. "How?" The midwife said nothing. The baby wailed again, and this time it didn't stop. The crying finally slowed. She rocked him until his breath steadied, soft and shallow, like reeds bending in wind. His face was damp with sweat, his eyes fluttering. She didn't know if he was asleep or simply too tired to cry anymore. The midwife knelt near the stove, sleeves rolled to the elbows. Her forearms were bare now, scarred in lines that looked deliberate. "What happened to you?" the mother asked. The midwife didn't answer right away. She touched one mark with her thumb, like checking if it still hurt. "They mark me every time I lose one." She frowned. "Who does?" "Them, the families, the fathers, the law. Doesn't matter. You let them?" "I don't have a choice." "That's not true. It is when the baby's gone and all they want is someone to blame." The mother stood slowly, still holding the child. "You could have walked away." "I did. This is what that looks like." She stepped closer. "You're saying they did this to you?" "I'm saying every scar is a name." "I don't believe you." "You shouldn't." The midwife turned, walked across the room. Her boots made no sound. She knelt near the edge of the crib and ran her fingers along the floor. "This house remembers," she whispered. "What are you doing?" "There's something under here." "No, there isn't." "There always is." She dug her nails into the seam between the boards and pulled. One plank lifted, old, splintered, warped from moisture. The underside was dark. "What is that?" The midwife didn't speak. She pointed. Inside, pressed into the dirt beneath the floorboards, was a patch of dried blood, faint, but still there. The mother took a step back. "This was here before," the midwife said. "Number that's not from me." "I know." She dropped to her knees. "How long has that been there?" "Years." "You knew?" "No." "Then how?" "This house feels tight, like it's holding something in." The mother stared. "You think a baby died here?" "I think more than one did." She hugged her child closer. "No, not yours, before. My husband, he bought this land himself." "That doesn't mean it's clean." She stood slowly. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you're next." The baby coughed. Not a sharp one, just dry, small, but enough to silence them both. She rocked him, fingers pressed to his back. "He's warm again." The midwife lowered the board, but didn't press it down. She let it hang open, exposed like a wound. "What happened here?" the mother whispered. "I don't know." "Was it another woman?" "Maybe." "Was it a child?" "I think so." "Why didn't anyone say that?" "They never do." She stared at the floor. "This house belonged to a man before us. I think his name was Delmer." The midwife nodded. "I remember a girl came by once." The mother said, "Asked if he still lived here. She looked scared. I told her he didn't. The midwife looked over. Did she ask about a baby? She asked about a well. The baby coughed again. She sat back down, arms shaking. You think something happened here? I think it still is. He's not cursed. No. He's not sick. No. Then what is this? The midwife walked over, slow, deliberate. She crouched beside her. Sometimes houses carry things we never meant to keep. I would have known. You feel it in your sleep, in your bones, not your head. I don't feel anything. You've felt tired since the day he was born. That's motherhood. Number, this is different. The mother looked down. The baby's face had gone pale. His breathing was shallow. I can't lose him. Then don't. I'm trying. You're still in this house. She looked toward the floorboard. You want me to run? I want you to dig. Dig what? Whatever's buried here. You're not making sense. Then stop listening with fear. She stood again. The room felt smaller, the air thicker. The baby's weight seemed heavier with every breath. What if I told you I've heard something under the floor? She asked. I wouldn't doubt it. I thought it was rats. It's never rats. The wind hit the window hard. The latch rattled. The mother walked to the crib, laid him down slowly. You said each scar was a name. Yes. Did you ever name them? No one lets me. Did you want to? The midwife hesitated. Yes. She sat on the floor, hand on the lifted board. Tell me one. The midwife looked at the fire. Elna. Who was she? A girl, 17, too thin. Had a laugh like a bottle opening. She died. She bled too fast. The wind pushed again. The baby coughed. She said if it was a girl, she'd name her June, the midwife said. The mother didn't reply. They sat together, silence stretching between them, broken only by the baby's breath and the faint whistle in the walls. Then the mother stood. She grabbed a knife from the table, walked to the loose plank, and began to dig. The knife hit stone before it hit bone. She scraped until her hands blistered. Dirt caked her palms. The baby cried once, then fell back into those stuttering, half-formed breaths that never settled right. Each cough made her dig harder. The midwife stood silent at first. Then she stepped forward. That's enough. The mother didn't look up. No, you'll find nothing that helps. Then what's the point? To see it. She pulled another handful of earth aside. A small wooden shard surfaced, rotted at the edge. She touched it. It gave slightly. Software, not buried deep. Something's here. Of course something's here. She kept digging. Another piece. Then a curve of cloth, gray and shredded. She reached for it, pulled slowly. It was a dress, child-sized. Nobody inside, just the faded print and a row of buttons down the front. She held it up. The midwife looked down. They never left her a name. The baby coughed. She froze. She stood, dressed in one hand, knife in the other. You knew, she said. I guessed. Number you knew. I knew something was wrong. She stepped forward, eyes sharp. You let me stay here. You let me lay him in that crib. I told you this house remembers. You didn't say it was cursed. I said it was heavy. She dropped the dress. The baby cried out from the crib. She ran to him, lifted him, pressed his body to hers. He's burning up again. I know. You said he'd live. I said he could. Then help him. I need to finish what I started. What does that mean? The midwife walked to the stove, poured water into a basin, stirred in something from her coat pocket, dried leaves crushed too fine to name. Speak straight. I opened him to breathe. Now I need to close what else came with it. She rocked the baby. You make it sound like he invited something in. Maybe he did. He's a baby. They don't come empty. Don't talk like that. The midwife turned. He will live, but only if you let me finish. You're not putting anything in him. I won't touch him. You said that before. I kept my word. Number, you're hiding behind riddles. You'd rather I lie? I'd rather you leave. The baby screamed. A sharp one this time. Too sharp. His back arched, fists clenched. She panicked. What's happening? He's splitting. From what? From what's still inside. She turned, holding him tighter. You'll not take him. Then he dies. Their eyes locked. The baby coughed again, louder, a rattle deep in his chest. The midwife stepped forward. Let me speak to him again. No. I don't need your permission. Then why ask? Because you're his mother. She didn't move. The baby went limp for a moment, just long enough to hollow the room. "Please," the midwife said. She handed him over, slow, terrified. The midwife cradled him, pressed her mouth to his ear. No whisper this time, only breath. Long, deep, rhythmic. "What are you doing?" Borrowing his fear. She stood still, hands shaking. "He's just a child. He's the echo of someone else." "I don't understand." "You don't need to." The baby stirred, not stronger, but not worse. A flutter beneath the surface. "Keep him warm," the midwife said. "Don't let the room go quiet." "Why?" "He's listening." "To what?" "To what wants him." She took him back, wrapped the quilt around him, and sat by the fire. Her head hurt. The midwife knelt by the dugout floorboard, staring at the hollow. "He's still caught between," she said. "Between what?" "Here and somewhere else." She didn't answer. Then the midwife looked up. "I need your blood." "What?" "Not much. Just enough to seal it." "No." "You want him to live." "I'm not giving you my blood." "Then you better dig another hole." She stood. "Don't say that." "I mean it." She looked down at the baby. His lips were paler now. The wind hit the wall hard. She walked to the table, set him down on a blanket, and grabbed the knife. "Where?" The midwife pointed to the edge of the bowl. She sliced her palm. Winced. "Hold it out." The midwife dipped her fingers, swirled it into the leaf water. Then she stepped back, hands shaking slightly, and began to whisper. "What now?" "Nothing." "That's it?" "For now." The fire dimmed. The baby let out one long cry, not loud, not broken, just long. The midwife smiled. "He's back." She scooped him up fast. "He's mine." He always was. The blood on her palm dripped to the floor. Neither of them wiped it away. The baby slept, for the first time without coughing, and the night stretched long, every second cracking. She woke up with a start. The fire had burned low in the stove, but the air in the room still hung heavy, thick with smoke and something sour beneath it. She sat up slow, neck stiff, shoulders aching. The baby was quiet beside her. Too quiet. She reached for him. His skin was warm, not fevered, just coated. Her hand came away with dust, soot. She leaned over and pulled the blanket back. Black streaks marred the folds. Fine ash dotted the edges of the cradle. It looked like snow, if snow burned instead of froze. "What is this?" she muttered. The midwife stood in the doorway of the kitchen, eyes shadowed, sleeves rolled high. "You lit the fire?" "I never let it die." "You put something in it?" "Yes." "What?" "Birchroot, salt, dried clover." She stood. "Why?" "Smoke drives sickness out." She crossed the room fast, heart racing. "You burned herbs over my child." "I kept the coals clean." "It needed to be done." She reached back and slapped the midwife's hand away. "No more." The midwife didn't move. "You're breathing easier." "That's not what you're doing." "It is." The baby whimpered, a soft sound but clear. Breathy, not broken. She looked at him, confused. "He wasn't wheezing last night," the mother said. "I know." She crouched beside the cradle and wiped the soot from his brow. "You think smoke fixes everything. Number but silence kills faster." She cradled him. "You could have warned me. You wouldn't have let me, because it's madness." "It worked." "That doesn't make it sane." The midwife walked to the stove, stirred the embers with a long iron rod. "The child coughed for 3 nights," she said. "And tonight he didn't. He's exhausted. He's recovering." She turned, still holding him. "Why ash in the cradle?" "It floated." "That's not an answer. Sometimes what heals you stains you first." The words felt too neat, too tidy for the mess in the room. She looked at her palm. It was black with soot. She turned it, stared at the red slice from the night before. "You could have told me," she said. "You could have asked." "I asked you to leave." "And I stayed." She rocked the baby slowly. "You think you know what's best for him. Number, I know what harms him." "Then say it." "This house, the quiet, the weight in the air. You keep saying that." "Because it keeps proving true." The mother sat. The baby stirred, but didn't cry. She traced the edges of the soot-stained blanket. "I dreamed of my husband," she said. The midwife turned. He was standing at the crib, just watching. And his face wasn't his. The midwife waited. It was black, hollow, like the inside of the stove. She looked down. "That's not a dream." Then what is it? A warning. She shook her head. You talk like nothing's real, like we're all just breathing ghosts. Sometimes we are. Then what's the point of all this? To keep the next ghost from forming. The baby whimpered again, a soft cry, sharper now. He moved his arms, kicked weakly. She rocked faster. He's hungry. There's broth. No. It's warm, clean. No. The midwife stood back. He won't grow if you don't eat. I'm not the one you're feeding. You are. She looked up. You think I'm the one who's sick. I think grief rots quicker than lungs. She went silent. The stove crackled. You still haven't buried the dress. The midwife said. I don't know if I should. She didn't get a name. Neither did the one before her. You think it's connected? I know it is. The baby fussed, tiny fingers grasping. She looked down at him. He wants to breathe. He's starting to. I don't want to smoke on him again. Then you'll have to take him out of this house. Where? There's a grove past the creek. The sheriff watches the creek. He watches the road. Silence again. You lit that fire behind my back, she said. I did. You put ash in his cradle. I let it fall. You whispered over his body. I brought him back. She stood. You do anything else without asking, I swear. I won't. Say it. I won't. She moved toward the crib, set him down again. He breathed shallow, but the stutter was gone. She turned to the midwife. Why do you care? I've seen too many mothers bury children and forget they ever had names. He has a name. Say it again. She did. Out loud, for the first time since birth. The midwife smiled faintly. The mother picked up the sooted blanket, held it to her chest. I'll wash this. No. Why not? Let it stay until the next sunrise. Superstition. Protection. She turned toward the door, paused, and after sunrise. Then burn it. She nodded once. He'll breathe clean tomorrow. If the wind stays. They looked at the window together. Outside, the sky stayed black, the air still. But for now, the house held, and the baby breathed. She didn't want to open the door. The baby was sleeping. Not well, but still. His breath was thin, but steady. After nights of rattling gasps, it was something close to peace. She sat on the floor beside the crib, head leaning back against the wall, eyes nearly closed. Then the midwife's voice cut through. Quiet, clear. We need to go. No. It's time. He's resting. He won't be if we wait. The mother looked up, face tight. Go where? The river. No. Water cleans. So does fire. And I've had enough of that. The midwife stepped closer. You saw what the smoke did. It opened his chest. I'm not dunking him in a river. It's not about drowning. No. It's about what leaves. The baby stirred, a small twitch, then a short cough. Not sharp, but enough to raise her back onto her knees. I don't trust it. You don't have to. She lifted him, held him close. He's not ready. He's more ready than you are. What do you think the water does? It cuts what air cannot. You're talking like a priest. I'm talking like someone who's watched too many mothers bury too many sons. She stared at her. Then gunfire cracked through the trees. She jerked, nearly dropping the child. The sound echoed, close enough to rattle the window pane. Another shot followed, then hooves pounding earth. They're here. No, the mother whispered. They won't shoot a house. They're not aiming at the house. The midwife grabbed a bag from the floor. We need to run. I can't carry him that far. You won't have to. The mother backed toward the door. You planned this. No. You waited for this moment. No. The next shot rang louder. Where are they? Behind the ridge. That's near the well. Yes? She froze. What if they circle the creek? They're not smart. They're fast. And we're slow. Then stay and see what they do. Another hoofbeat. Closer now. The mother didn't think so. She moved fast, grabbing the baby's blanket, his satchel, her coat. She yanked the door open. The wind hit her face, cold and sharp. Go, the midwife said. They ran, not down the road, through the field, over dead grass and brittle thorns. The baby didn't cry at first, just whimpered in short, jagged hitches. She stumbled once, almost fell. The river came into view, thin, shallow, but running. This isn't safe. It never was. The water was brown, almost black in the low light. Dawn hadn't come, but the sky had started to change, pale blue smudging through the trees. I'm not putting him in that. You're not putting him in anything. The baby began to cry. Soft at first, then loud. Sharp. They hear that, they'll follow it. Let them. Hooves thundered behind the ridge. The mother looked at the midwife. Tell me what to do. Step into. The water. She hesitated. Then I did. The river rushed around her ankles, then her knees. The current pulled hard, but she kept balance. The baby screamed now, fists clenched, legs kicking. What now? Face upstream. She did. Say his name. She spoke it out loud. Louder. She said it again, over the rush of the river, over the cries of her child. The midwife stood on the bank, eyes locked. One more time. She screamed it this time. The baby choked, then let out a scream of his own, louder than ever, a full cry. No stutter, no catch, just sound, pure and angry. It echoed down the waterline, and at that moment, something cracked. The wind died. The gunshot stopped. Silence swept in, sudden and thick. The baby kept crying, a deep, rattling cry that filled her ears, her throat, her bones. Then he gasped, a sharp inhale, clear. She pulled him close, tears streaking her cheeks. The midwife stepped into the water, holding her steady. He's free. The mother nodded, rocking back. Behind them, the hoofbeats grew faint. No one crossed the water. No one called her name. The river kept running, and her son kept breathing. The water pressed around her knees like it wanted to drag her under. She shifted her weight, rocking the baby in her arms. His skin felt damp and too still. Each time she blinked, her vision pulsed, and the cold gnawed at her spine. Behind her, the river moved faster. We're done, the mother whispered. We did what you said. The midwife stepped into the current, eyes fixed on the boy. Not yet. He's breathing. Barely. That's enough. No, it isn't. The mother held him tighter. You said he was free. I said he broke through. What's left? The midwife didn't answer. She moved past her into deeper water, arms out, mouth already parting. She began to speak, not in words, but rhythm. The mother froze. Don't. The midwife didn't stop. Her voice dropped low, heavy, pulsing like breath through wet stone. It vibrated in the air, in the water. The river began to respond. Not louder, just deeper. The sound of it changed. I said stop, the mother barked, but her voice thinned against the current. The chant rose, not loud, but layered. That's when she heard it. Not the midwife, not the wind. A voice, small, female. Then another, older, men, children, whispers, groans, fragments. What is that? She gasped. The river carried them. It was speaking back. Number no. Stop it, she shouted, stepping forward. The baby flinched in her arms. His eyes flew open. His mouth opened wide, but no sound came. Something's wrong, she cried. The midwife didn't stop. Her body swayed with the water, her head tilted back, eyes closed. The mother rushed her, slapped her shoulder. He's not breathing. The chant broke. The midwife's eyes opened slowly. You interrupted. He stopped. He's not. She shook the baby once gently. Come on, come on. His limbs dangled. His face looked wrong. She fell to her knees in the river, cradling him. No, no. The water surged around her, but she didn't feel it. Her chest locked up. Do something, she begged. The midwife knelt, pressed her hands near the boy's spine. Say his name. I did. Say it now. She did. Voice cracking. Please. Again. Please. Not to me. To him. She bent low, whispered it into his skin, again and again. Then, a twitch. Small. His fingers curled. His mouth opened. He gasped. Sharp. Wet. Then he screamed. Not a weak cry, a full one. Strong. Alive. She rocked backward in shock. Water splashed around them. She sobbed, clutching him, pressing him against her chest. The midwife sank lower into the current, arms wide. She didn't speak. She didn't move. The mother held the baby tighter. What was that? The river heard him. No, those voices. What were they? Others. Who? The midwife's eyes met hers. Children. The mother looked down at the baby. He cried, stronger now, fists clenched. You called them up. I called them out. They were inside him. Number around him. You used him. I freed him. She stood, legs trembling. You could have killed him. I didn't. He stopped breathing. Then he returned. The mother stepped back. You can't do that again. I won't. You can't speak over him again. I won't. The baby coughed. This time it didn't sound painful. I thought I lost him. You didn't. The wind softened. Behind them, the river stilled. No echoes, no names, just water. She looked toward the shore. I'm done with this. You have to bury the floor. I will. You have to burn the blanket. I already did. The midwife looked at the sky. He's yours now. He was always mine. Number he was fighting. I don't care. He does. She clutched the baby tighter. Say it plain. He's whole. She moved toward the bank, feet heavy. Her skirt dragged. Her arms ached. The midwife stayed in the current, watching. Will they come again? The mother asked. Yes. When? When the crying stops. She didn't speak. She just walked. The baby slept in her arms now, limp, peaceful, clean. The river murmured behind her, soft as breath, but she didn't look back. They moved slowly along the riverbank, the baby wrapped tight to her chest, his breathing soft against her skin. The trees bowed low, their shadows stretched long and crooked in the morning light. Dew clung to everything. Her boots sank with every step, mud pulling at the soles. The midwife walked ahead, silent, gaze fixed on the ground. She didn't say where they were going. She didn't have to. The mother followed without asking, not because she trusted her, but because the baby had slept through the night. His first, and she knew it wasn't luck. They stopped at the bend in the river, where the roots of a split elm curved into the bank like fingers dug into wet soil. She's here, the midwife said. The mother adjusted her grip on the child. Who? The midwife crouched by the roots and began to dig with her bare hands. No words, just motion. She scooped soil out in slow, practiced pulls. The dirt was dark and loose, like it had been dug up once before and packed down again. The mother's throat tightened. You buried someone here? No. Then who did? The midwife didn't answer. Her fingers hit something. She stopped. She reached in and pulled out a strip of faded cloth, a ribbon. The edges were torn. The color, pink once, now browned and gray. But there were dots of something deeper, dried, stained. The mother recognized it. That's blood. The midwife nodded. She wore it every day. Who? My daughter. The wind shifted. They drowned her here, the midwife said. Right here. She didn't speak. She couldn't. I was late, the midwife said. She'd gone to deliver food to a woman up near the ridge. I told her not to go alone. The mother stared at the ribbon in her hands. She was 14. She thought if she helped someone, the town would forgive us. Said people only hate what they don't understand. She laughed once, hollow. They didn't forgive her. They followed her to the river, said she was a liar, that she'd bewitched the woman's baby. They held her under. The mother stepped back. Jesus! I found her the next morning, still tied at the wrists. They didn't even bother to hide it deep, just kicked dirt over her. She crouched. Why didn't you tell me? Would it have mattered? Yes. Would it have stopped you from calling me poison? The mother looked down. She screamed, the midwife said, but the river covered it. That's why I chant loudly. Why do I speak to it first? The baby stirred, blinked up at her. She kissed his forehead. You said she didn't have a name. She didn't get to keep it. They burned her birth record, said she never existed. The mother swallowed. What was it? Lena. She whispered it again, softer. Lena. The midwife placed the ribbon back in the shallow pit, covered it with careful hands. No one ever spoke her name again. Not until now. The baby coughed once, not deep, not sharp, just a sound. The midwife looked toward him. He's breathing clean. Yes. Then let him keep it that way. She hesitated. Why bring me here? Because you need to see what silence does. I'm not silent. You've lived in fear. I'm not anymore. The midwife stood. Then prove it. How? Tell the sheriff what's buried here. He won't listen. Doesn't matter. He'll accuse me of helping you. He already has. She looked back toward the trees. He burned the Franklin barn. And yours will be next. The mother stepped forward. Then what? Then you speak. With what army? With this. She touched the baby's chest. He cries. That's enough. That's not enough. It was for Lena. The sun cracked through the trees. Light fell in patches over the soil. The midwife brushed her hands clean. I thought you were helping him out of mercy, the mother said. But this was grief. It's the same thing. No, it isn't. The midwife looked at her. Maybe not, but it works. The baby kicked gently beneath the blanket. A faint noise. Content, not pain. He's stronger now, the mother said. Yes. Will it last? If you let it. She nodded once. Then what do we do now? The midwife turned toward the trees. We bury her deep this time, not so the river forgets, so it remembers right. The mother took one last look at the dirt. I'll say her name every day. Say his louder. She adjusted the baby in her arms, kissed the top of his head, and whispered his name again. The river didn't echo it back, but it didn't swallow it either. The morning began quiet. No wind, no movement in the trees, only the sound of her boots pressing into soft soil as they made their way back through the field. The river was behind them now, its chill still clinging to her soaked skirt. The baby slept against her chest, breath warm, heartbeat steady. The midwife walked a few paces ahead, arms empty, shoulders drawn back like she was bracing for something. They were nearly to the house when the child stirred. She paused. The first sound was small. A whimper, half-dreamed, then another, louder. She stopped walking and held him out slightly to look at his face. His eyes weren't closed anymore, his mouth opened wider. The cry that came out was like nothing she'd heard from him before. It tore into the air, long and full, shaking the branches above them. It wasn't a cry of hunger or pain. It was raw and reaching, like something had been kept quiet too long and finally found the space to scream. The midwife turned. He carries her voice now. What? Lena's. It passed through him. No. The baby screamed again, face turned toward the river behind them, fists clenched. The mother clutched him close. He's mine. I never said he wasn't. Then don't say that again. I didn't give him anything. She did. No. The midwife stepped forward. He's crying for what was taken. I don't want him carrying ghosts. Then bury them. I did. Not deep enough. The child wailed louder. Her arms shook from holding him. That's when the sound of hooves cracked the silence. Fast. Close. She turned. The midwife did too. They both saw the sheriff at the same time. He sat tall on a pale horse, pistol drawn, coat hanging stiff at his sides. He didn't speak as he dismounted. He didn't need to. His boots hit the dirt with finality. The baby kept crying. The mother stepped back. You, the sheriff said to the midwife. She didn't flinch. You never could stay gone. She raised her chin. You never could stop chasing what scares you. You led her into it. She walked in on her own. The baby's cry rose again. The sound bounced off the trees, making the birds scatter. The sheriff raised the pistol. Give me the boy. No, the mother said. He's marked. He's mine. He carries something else. You don't know what he carries. I know what was done. You think this is witchcraft, the midwife said. I don't think so. I know. He's a child. He's a door. No. He took a step forward. Stop, the mother said, adjusting the baby on her hip. You don't get to keep him. He's mine. You don't understand what you've let in. I understand enough. You were seen. At the river. I wasn't hiding. You should have. The baby screamed again, longer this time, so loud it rang. The sheriff flinched. You hear that? The midwife asked. It's not natural. It's grief. It's defiance. It's a breath. The sheriff tightened his grip. I'll end this. No, the mother said, stepping in front of him. He'll bring more death. He already brought life. I'm giving you one chance. I'm not moving. The pistol rose, not shaking. The baby cried again, louder than ever. The sheriff hesitated. The sound was too much. Not a scream. A roar. It cracked through the dawn, shattered what silence remained. It echoed and echoed again. The birds fled. The trees held their breath. And still, the baby cried. The midwife stepped beside her. He carries all their voices now. I don't want that. You don't get to choose. The sheriff backed one step, unsure now. What did you do to him? Nothing, the mother said. You did. He blinked. You lit the fires. You broke the girls. You buried the ones who screamed. Now you're scared of the only one left making noise. You don't know what you've done, he whispered. He's louder than you. She took another step forward. The sheriff raised the pistol again. The baby screamed, and the sheriff froze. Then he dropped the gun. It hit the dirt, soft and heavy. His shoulders lowered. He stepped back. One step, then another. You'll regret this, he said. She shook her head. I already regret staying quiet this long. He turned, climbed onto the horse, and rode, fast, far. She didn't breathe until the hoofbeats vanished. The baby cried for a few seconds more, then stopped. His eyes met hers, calm, clear, still wet. She rocked him, slower now. The midwife placed a hand on her shoulder. You've got time, she said. The mother looked toward the sunrise. Not much, no, but enough. Enough. She turned toward the house. The baby's breath was steady, his voice finally heard, and nothing answered back. The wind turned sharp just after sunrise. The baby had fallen quiet in her arms, but his breathing was strong, regular. She sat near the waterline, back to the trees, knees drawn up with him, swaddled against her chest. The midwife stood by the rocks, watching the current move like it had a memory. They hadn't spoken in a long while. Then the hoofbeats returned, closer this time, slower. The sheriff stepped out from behind the trees, alone. No horse, no warning, just the click of his boots on wet roots. The pistol was in his hand again. You should have run, he said. The mother stood, arms around the child, every muscle tensed. There's nowhere left to run. You were seen. She didn't answer. You think letting him cry made you strong. I think silence is what got us here. He looked to the midwife. You did this. No, she said. You did. He stepped forward. You stole something. That baby is hers, the midwife said. He's not right. No baby born in a graveyard ever is. He raised the pistol. The mother didn't move. Hand him over, he said. Now. No? This is your last chance. The baby stirred in her arms. His head shifted, lips moving. She whispered his name. The wind picked up. I'll kill you both, the sheriff said. You already tried. I'll do it right this time. The baby whimpered. The sheriff stepped closer. Then gunfire cracked. It wasn't her. It wasn't a warning. It was aimed. The shot missed, but close. Before he could fire again, the midwife moved. She lunged toward him, grabbed his wrist, twisted hard. The gun fired again, into the dirt. He shouted, staggered back. She didn't let go. They fell together, straight into the water. The river took them like it had been waiting. The mother ran to the edge. The baby clutched to her chest. No, no! The current dragged them fast. First the midwife's shoulder, then his boot. They thrashed once, twice, then nothing. Both were gone. The baby cried out, sharp and sudden, a high, clean sound that cut the air in half. She fell to her knees at the water's edge, clutching him, rocking back and forth. You're mine, she whispered. Only mine. The trees stood still. No other voices answered. She stayed there as the sun rose. The wind lifted, and the current swallowed every ripple of what had happened. She didn't move until the baby fell asleep again in her arms. By then, the water had already forgotten.